Hey, how's it going, everybody? Officially back in the homestead from RLCS 2021-2022. Still obviously in recovery, but lots of things to discuss. Even though the season's only been over for like a couple days, we're already seeing insane roster changes going, whether they be rumored or otherwise. Obviously, the big thing for focusing on this channel is we're going to try to talk more so specifically about confirmations, things that are guaranteed that have happened or were already announced, and that kind of conversation. Even though the discussion around some of the rumors is fun to kind of discuss, that'll be kept more so for my live stream and having open conversation with you guys over there. So feel free to join us, twitch.tv/Lawler for that kind of stuff. Unless the rumor itself has a more broad, like, educational teaching moment from it, I will try to do my best to confirm sources and those types of things. But primarily, I'm going to let Shift do their thing and then wait for confirmation. We did this during the last trade window and during the last off season, and it just seems to be the better approach to things. So today's video in particular, we're going to be talking about some confirmations, some obvious, some others that you may not know about. But as RLCS has come to an end, a lot of things have already started, and there's been a lot of people talking about the offseason, which is going to be absolute insanity. Like, expect NA EU to explode and completely renew when it comes to the next season. So let's talk about some of the obvious ones. This one actually happened. It was teased about. I actually mentioned this a while back about how there was one more thing that I was still waiting to talk about, that I wasn't sure on when we were going to get to announce it, and we got it right before they actually went on stage, and it is the one and only Faze Clan. Faze Clan has announced that they've got their new coach, and if you guys didn't end up tuning in this past weekend, kind of weird considering that you guys watched this footage, but Dizz is going to be the new coach for Faze Clan. I tried to talk to Gr0wli about long-term, short-term, what this was going to be, and it does seem like it is not just a temporary thing. This looks like the conversation surrounding it. A while back, I actually talked about and did a specific piece on Dizz, and also mentioned CJCJ being in that conversation as well, how both he, Dizz, and CJCJ were in unique circumstances. They're both former pros. They both have the ability to be on camera. They both could go into the coaching and managing side if they wanted to. They have phenomenal rapport with all their co-workers, whether it be pros, coaches, players, staff, casters, whatever. And sky was kind of the limit. Like, where did you really want to go? What do you want to do? You have to, as a young adult, make a conscious decision of what is it selfishly that I want to do in this space, because you have so many opportunities. And for Dizz, still probably going to do the First Touch podcast and all that kind of stuff, and that's where his kind of origin story is post being pro coach and kind of what the focus has been. And then he went into the broadcast talent side of things, and it looks like he's now deciding, you know what, that's not for me. Time to go do coaching. And that's where he's ending back up. So congratulations to Dizz. Absolutely love the lad. So glad to see him find a new home. And with Faze Clan, turns out gassing up a team, it can lead to a job. Obviously, it's so much more than that. But again, congratulations to Dizz on his new position. Up next in the North American scene has to do with Optic Gaming. Obviously, the results, not what they are hoping for, and the team does fall short. They end up in the 9-12 conversation overall in their results during the World Championship, which is kind of on par with how things have been. Not quite able to beat, the top teams, but always very consistent about the teams that are ranked below them. And in this circumstance, it is actually Mist that puts out a tweet saying that he is now an unrestricted free agent. Essentially, for those that don't know what this means, that means that he is currently still on Optic Gaming in theory, but the contract has now expired. So although he still has the opportunity to kind of pick and choose what he wants to do with Optic, he is looking for other opportunities, whether it be signing with a new team, maybe building a new team and then creating a conversation with Optic and staying on that namesake or whatever they want to do. But does express that, hey, thanks to all the fans for sticking with him through all the seasons, and he's looking forward to the next one. But there is no like buyout. It looks like his contract is completely expired, so he doesn't have to deal with the buyout. He doesn't have to deal with anybody trying to purchase him and not being able to afford the buyout, which means he's stuck. Like, he is 100%, like it stated, unrestricted. He can go and do whatever he wants. So pretty cool stuff, and a lot of opportunities for Mist, obviously known as one of the better defenders in the world. Pre-jumps everything, saves everything. Big reason why Optic has been successful. A lot of people talking about maybe the recreation of Peeps, which we'll talk about in a future video. But Mist going to be one of the most sought after free agents in North America. I'll tell you that right now. That is a very, very solid player, open to make a difference on a top tier roster. So exciting to see what that all entails. Jumping over to Europe, we do have Growli, who used to be former of Cookster's Minions and Bricks and whatever other names he went by, has announced the new team, and it actually comes with former guild member in Deevo. We talked about Deevo a little bit ago, about how he had been released for guild and that they're trying to find a new team and basically recreate the Spanish Bim Bam roster, whatever it may be. But Growli, former teammate of Cookster, and now Deevo, former teammate of that guild roster, are being joined by Crispy Don, a 16-year-old that has quite a bit of talent. They do have coach and stuff, but they're talking about how they're looking for scrims and to DM people as they're looking for an org and everything next season. Again, we haven't seen this roster in action. Hopefully some off-season tournaments do come to fruition and we get to see them compete in that kind of type of stage. But as of right now, we just kind of got to sit back and watch. You are going to probably see a lot of teams start to formulate very early, and you may see those things change before the season. We don't know when 2022-2023 season is going to be. Candidly, there's a lot of things on even this channel that are going to be changing before that time, but there's a lot of unknowns in the future, which is pretty exciting. So I'll do my best to keep you guys up to date on the things that are going down throughout, while I also try to make some adjustments in my own life as well, which will be exciting to talk about in the future. So Gr0wli Deevo and Crispy Don going to be moving forward together. Excited to see how that one plays out over in Europe. We've also got long-term veteran in Fruity. Obviously, if you guys don't know, Fruity had some pretty solid results. DreamHack Valencia in 2019, where they won, was probably the biggest one, with the Reciprocity squad, former Shazette, Farah, and everything else. But Fruity has kind of bounced around trying to find a new roster and a new home, and is basically announcing that he is now going to be looking for a free agent as a coach or to any opportunities, whether it be manager or otherwise. His tweet he does put out says he's happy to announce that I'm putting my focus towards finding a new team as a coach. I'm looking forward to the new challenges and experiences. I want to thank everyone I've played with. Never thought I'd get this far, and thank you for giving me a chance. So it does seem like he has now removed himself from the player pool, which is kind of like a momentary kind of retirement, it may possibly be. And I don't know if I'm just taking that out of context from what I'm reading, but he doesn't state anything about the efforts to continue playing as a pro. So it seems like Fruity has shifted his focus into more of a managerial coaching, kind of behind the forefront, and there to support, which I think is a good fit for him. He's always been fantastic, super articulate, well respected, and not afraid to state his mind and opinion in a very professional way. So hoping nothing but the success for Fruity. As a team, I think would be very happy to have him as an addition. We now get to the last region that we're going to be talking about today, which has to do with the OCE region, and this one comes from kind of a heartfelt place. Before I get into the big one, which you guys are probably all aware of, we are going to be talking about Tango first. If you guys don't know Tango, he has been around the scene since probably professionally in like 2019, but has played for Canberra Havoc, Riot Gaming, Attack of the Invisible Ninja, Ground Zero Gaming are probably the more notable rosters. There's been a lot in the last 2-3 years, but has now officially retired. And his tweet actually is in reference to CJCJ and goes, since CJCJ has retired, I will now be retiring as well. Good luck, everyone. And I was actually debating on if I wanted to do a full dedicated video on this one. For those that don't know, CJ is obviously probably one of the most beloved people in the actual Rocket League esports scene. I officially met CJ, I think season 4 at Washington, DC. We were in the line, I think, for Shake Shack, and he came up and immediately was like, hey, I hear you're saying that our offense isn't that great and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I just look at him and go, tell me I'm wrong. And he's like, all right, that's true. And from there, I've always kind of been buddies with CJ. He's one of those people like Findable Carpet, that's super infectious personality, super charismatic, and just overall a really nice guy. Genuinely absolutely love him. Got to meet his parents, both mom and dad, this past weekend at the World Championship, and it shows why CJ is the way that he is. Lovely people, top to bottom. So I talked to CJ behind the scenes a little bit about this one, as he announced that this is officially his retirement. He is no longer playing and will most likely be focused on joining the desk, which is what happens anyway anytime he gets eliminated from a tournament. So I foresee and hope that it translates more than just the OCE broadcast. I hope CJCJ becomes a staple of the main RLCS broadcast, EU and NA, not just OCE like Yummy Cheeseman. I think he is something that, personality-wise, is someone where you can get some really good representation for the entire year, not just a small segment. I think he has transcended past that. Yummy Cheeseman, I guess you can consider him in there as well. But if you're going to have anybody, and no offense to Yummy, I think CJCJ is just expertise as a former player, and everything that he's accomplished is someone that you make room for, which they have done, obviously. So I do think that representation from that region is good. and that CJ has a great fit as a desk host. But from behind the scenes, sitting and talking with him at the event, I kind of asked him a while back. He and I had a conversation essentially of going into after not making the major. I kind of talked to him. I'm like, hey man, like, is this the last season? What's the decision? You know, you've got to decide. Like right now, you are currently the best rated player in all of OCE. Like your octane rating is at the top. You're still performing at a high level. You're still doing great. But what is it that you want? Is it the ability to go and compete and put up results and have that competitive itch, or do you want to transition and take that next step in your life? And it was a question that wasn't answered in the time. It was something that was just here's a thought to consider, and you have to be selfish with your decision. What do you truly want? If you still want to compete, still compete, man, because that opportunity to go on the desk, I think, is always going to be there. But if you still have another try to give, do it. And if you feel like, you know what, if results pending, you just don't think you can compete at the top, like if you keep getting tired of, you know, being in that middle of the pack, then take that next step and really dive in and give it your all. And it sounds like he's made that other decision. Talking with him, he did let his teammates know before this tournament that, hey guys, this is going to be my last one. He told it to Kami, and longtime teammate and brother of Kami and Fever, as well as Lachlan, like, hey, this is the last one. This is going to be my last world championship. Let's go out with a bang. Let's try to do what we can. And if you guys haven't seen or heard the clip of them qualifying for top 16, that is a different type of reaction that I think invokes and showcases the emotion that CJ's feeling, as it's his last hurrah. So if you guys haven't seen the video, Rocket League Esports surprised him after finding this out. A bunch of interviews with players, coaches, parents, you name it, across the board. Very important figures in the scene. And after they lost, they pulled CJ aside, and Yummy Cheeseman, of course, the OCE representation, got to basically send CJ off into the sunset, I guess. And about a 3-minute video, brought me to tears just because I've known CJ for a long time and absolutely love the lad. But really cool video, and very, very excited to see what is next for CJ. I even replied to him talking about it. I'm just like, hey man, I can guarantee you're going to look back at this years from now and be like, man, look how much I've accomplished in this time. You're going to look back and be like, you know what? The first part of my career was a pro, but now the second half is going to be broadcast talent for Rocket League. And I think Sky, like, he's got so much potential to do some amazing things and bring a very unique personality that is very beloved and provide some insight and do some really exciting things. So I, for one, am really excited about this. Nothing against CJ and his competitive side. I still love playing 1v1s and Q and stuff with him, but I think him as broadcast talent is going to change the game. He is going to become a staple, and people are going to fall in love with this boy just like I have. So again, I could have made a dedicated video for just CJCJ, but I've said my piece, and I think it was good to add it here. So again, congratulations to CJCJ on a successful career. His stats were tweeted out, which are extremely impressive of what he's done. 239 series played with a 71.55% win record. Played 1,000+ games, 1,007 to be exact, going 643 and 364, which is 63.85% in individual games. His total score in game, which I think is a really cool stat, is 359,041. He scored just one shy of 900 goals, 620 assists, 1,189 saves, almost 3,200 shots, almost 800 demolitions, with a shooting percentage of 28.2%. So again, player who's been there and done that for a very long time, has been in the space for a really long time, is now officially a player, and I cannot be more happy for him. So again, that is what I have for your roster updates. I have some more specific things we're going to be discussing because there's a lot more to go over when it comes to not just rosters, but also organizations, some falling outs, crazy stuff that's going on, and interested to see on how that one evolves and what that's going to be. But again, this offseason, I'm not exactly sure what everything is going to be. I've got some cool projects to announce and some things that we're going to be working on, but I'll continue to try and be your one-stop shop for all things Rocket League Esports. So trying to expand that into not just Rocket League Esports, but Rocket League in general. There's a lot of cool things that I'm trying to work on. So if you guys want to make sure you don't miss out on any of that kind of stuff, as always, any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comments down below. Try to keep things as well for discussion as professional as possible, because I do know there's a lot of rumors I haven't talked about yet, and there's a lot more rumors you guys haven't heard based upon the things and the people I was talking to at the World Championship. But I'll try to keep you guys up to date on the official stuff to the best of my ability, and try to put them together in a succinct way. So Even though they're a little bit delayed, it's got all the information provided. So with that, as always, if you enjoy the content, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, stop by the stream. We'll talk about these more in detail, and we'll see you in the next one. I will say daily videos may not continue to happen, but quality of them should start ramping up. So I'm gonna go rest. As you can tell, I'm still in recovery, but knock on wood, no COVID, so feeling pretty good about that. Well, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.